Hi, welcome to Coffee with Brian, a 3 or 4 minute segment dealing with fears and anxiety and tools helping you get through them. Yesterday, I believe I discussed, or the day before, I discussed a workshop that I had dealing with fears, specific fears, fear of bridges, fear of tunnels, fear of elevators. And I received an email today that, Brian, I love the video. However, I am afraid of bridges actually collapsing, and I am afraid of driving off the bridge. I want to give you a phrase that I use in my book, and it's from the movie Wall Street, and I use it all the time because it's very true. And it goes like this: the most valuable commodity is information. The more informed you are of anything, the more confidence you're going to have, and in this situation, the less anxiety you will have. I happen to do a little investigative work, and I'm just going to read, if I may, uh, bridges and destruction and things that happen with them. First, I'm going to tell you where it happened. September of 2015. It was a covered bridge. Its destruction due to major flooding. None killed, none injured. Then we have England. Then we have India. Then we have Chile. This is all the way to present. Then we have the Ivory Coast. Then we have Italy. All of them have none injured, and was because of weather, and one was because of deterioration. But I'm not going to get into India and their certifications. But the Italy one was killed, and that it collapsed onto a roadway below. But think about this, and it goes all the way back, and I'll never be able to cover it. I did it before I went online here. You know about the bridges that collapsed because it makes major news. Just like when airplanes crash because it makes major news. You can't let that fear, and I'm not asking you, you need to believe the fact that I used to think the bridges were going to collapse. I used to think that I was going to drive into the other lane or veer into the other lane and not only kill me, but kill families. This is all because of anxiety and panic. And I do know what I'm talking about. It's like when you go to a doctor, most valuable commodity is information. You have a bump and you think it's something terrible. Then you go to a doctor, you have it examined, and all of a sudden you breathe fresh air, you breathe life because it's nothing. Okay, what's the next thing I'm going to worry about? I'm telling you, if you read my book and you know my story, then I'm an expert at this. I was a worrier, and then I became an agoraphobic. So there's nothing you're going to tell me that I don't understand. It's not like somebody, and they're phenomenal. I'm saying this from a non-clinical standpoint. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm a person that's actually lived through it and come out the other end and have lived to tell my story. Scared to death to it anyway. All based on what I just received an email on. So what I'm trying to say to you is the more information you have on a particular fear, and you do the studying and you realize, okay, I don't have that. Why am I really afraid of that? It's not going to happen. And it's easy to say, but you need to convince yourself, and you need to understand that I'm looking at you telling you, if you have a fear of bridges collapsing, here's the homework. Here's the statistics. It tells you that it doesn't happen. And if it does happen, it's something major, and usually, if you remember, it was due to weather. I'm not trying to convince you not to be afraid. What I'm trying to convince you is, and this is another favorite saying of mine, stop being afraid of being afraid. That's what I'm trying to convince you to do. Okay? Start living your life. You're going to have fears, but abnormal fears are not healthy. Stop being afraid of being afraid. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, as an expert in this, that use those words. Write them on your coffee cup. Write them wherever you need to. Write them on your favorite cup, Coffee with Brian. Write it on your desk. I have things written on my desk. If I move the phone, I'll probably lose you. But I have things written on my desk, all little motivational sayings, not to motivate me, but just to remind me of certain things that I need, that I forget. And for the last 10, 15 seconds, I'm going to say this. Before I do a talk, you'll see me look at a piece of paper, because even after 35, 40 years of struggling with anxiety and panic, I still need to read and remember certain things so I can get up on stage and have the courage to have anxiety, but be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And I don't mean to keep throwing these sayings out, but it's very true. So don't worry about the bridge, or should I say, worry about the bridge if you'd like, but don't let it take control of your life. Use information for you to calm down and relax and be able to live your life. Again, don't be afraid of being afraid. That's my 5-minute segment with Brian. Hopefully I helped you. Please email me. I love the emails, and I will return them all. Have a great day. Come back to you tomorrow. Take care.